Uh, Great. Take it away, Peony.
Yes. All right. So, hi guys. Thank you for joining the session. So today we have Alicia, Angela, and myself hosting this information session for our mentoring program 2022. And we are actually in a different environment. Angela is currently in the UK. Myself and Alicia is in Hong Kong, and then Alicia is actually going to be released from her quarantine tonight. And yes, so tonight it's a good night because she'll be released. And I myself are at home, and I believe that some of you guys are probably having dinner or maybe on the way back home, or probably still at work. So don't you worry if you have missed any part of this session. We will be uploading this video onto YouTube, and you can always review it after after tonight.
Yeah.
So just a gentle hello and welcome. Maybe we can start with Alicia, who is currently in quarantine.
Yeah.
Just to gently introduce yourself.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining us today for this session. Some of you may have met me already. I see some familiar faces already. I am the founder of WISE. We started a few years ago. I'll tell you a little bit more about us. But before we do that, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. First, aside from the charity, I am very passionate about education and sustainability, and I play ultimate frisbee. So if some of you ever want to play and try in Hong Kong, aside from the mentoring program and aside from about WISE, you're welcome to contact me at any time. And so my role on this project basically is I'm not the hands-on project manager. That is Peony, and she will give you a lot more details about all the logistics of this year's program. I am like an advisor. Last year, we launched this project for the first time. This year is our second time. So together with Angela, who's a mentor, and she'll share a little bit about her experiences with you, we have some insights and some feedback that we are able to bring to this year's project. And so our role is a bit more on advising and helping make sure the project is smooth. So I'm going to pass over to Angela right now for her to give a little bit about her.
Hello, thanks Alicia, thanks Peony, and hello everyone. I'm Angela Liu. I was born and brought up in Hong Kong and in England. I started getting to know WISE as an NGO 2 years ago during the break of COVID. And so last year I was fortunate enough that I saw the advertisement for recruiting mentors for the mentoring program. And since I'd had different mentoring experiences as well, so I was happy to join a relatively new NGO to be part of its efforts. So I was on the mentoring program last year, which was held between October and December, similar to the schedule this year. My background, I have 20 years of corporate experience behind me. My main interests in the corporate world include government affairs, corporate development, and strategic planning. Since 5 years ago, I became a certified executive coach, and I continue to be interested in the area of people development, leadership development, as well as corporate governance. So I'm really happy to be here to be a part of the team WISE. Fortunately, I got selected and became a board member of WISE since middle of June this year. So I'm very excited about being more actively involved with everyone. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Angela. So passing back on to me, I'm the project manager of WISE and also the project manager of this mentoring program. A little bit about my background. I come from a marketing and communication background. Apart from WISE and apart from work, I love learning new languages, and I'm also a yoga teacher. So if you want to stretch and strengthen yourself in from a yoga perspective, feel free to reach out to me as well. So without further ado, I think we are gonna have a lot of things upcoming tonight. So first of all, we'll have Alicia to introduce about WISE, talking about a little bit about the program, why we do what we do, and then we'll jump right into the program timeline, the curriculum itself, and we will pass it on to Angela, who will talk a little bit about our target audience as well as her experience from last year's program. And of course, if you stay until the end, we will be sharing some application details and we'll have a Q&A session. So let's move on. Alicia?
Yeah, thank you. So WISE is a charity. We are basically all about women and girls and gender. So we are here to advocate women's empowerment, and we really do so all through the lens of sport. Sport is merely the tool. We're more around enabling women and girls to feel that they can thrive and have the skills and knowledge to be able to feel they can achieve what their ambitions are. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we do what we do because we want to contribute to a more gender equal, more equitable, more diverse, more inclusive Hong Kong, and hopefully also, more so in the rest of the world in the long future, but big ambitions. Ooh. Right. And simply said, what we do is our work is split into three main areas. I'm going to share what they are at a broader level and then go on into how this mentoring program fits into our three key objectives. The first is we do a lot of education or raising awareness around the benefits of sports and why women and girls should participate in sport. And we loosely use sports and physical activity. Sometimes the word sport can be scary or daunting, but really for us, when we say sport, we really mean any form of physical activity and movement, as long as it's enjoyable and not done as a chore, not something that is mandatory for you to do as kind of like something that is, I don't know, like household duties, for example. And the other thing that we do is we do run a lot of activities, workshops, projects where we where hopefully women and girls feel more empowered. They learn about their bodies, they learn about their minds, and we all do this through sports. So sports is a key component, but we also have workshops and other content that we provide. And then the last thing that we do is we're a small charity. We can't do the things that we do without a bigger community supporting what we do. So we spend a lot of time connecting with the broader community of women and girls in sports to support what we do, to engage them, to share their story. And ideally, we hope that by doing so, we really deepen this, the connection in this community and show the diversity of women and girls of this community, because actually there's a lot of interesting and amazing women who work in sport, don't work in sport, but play sport, do what they love as a separate career. And I think every person who does this should have their story told, or is worth having the story told. So how this connects to our mentoring program, next slide, is through this mentoring program, it actually falls into one of our three age groups that we target. This falls into the target group of our women and girls in tertiary education. And really what we aim to do is through the mentoring program, the students we connect with will really understand not just the health and well-being benefits of sports, but really understand sports is more than physical activity participation. You learn a lot around the leadership and transferable skills and mindset that you can bring to you on a day-to-day basis. And these are the leadership and transferable skills that we really hope more women and girls recognize, because that's sometimes just as important as, of course, the physical health, mental health benefits from sports. The second thing is we really hope that through this mentoring program, our content, but also the mentors will support our mentees to increase their self-awareness. And when we say self-awareness, we really think is an important part of enhancing confidence, self-efficacy when you know yourself, when you have developed a stronger sense of self. That's really a key contribution to self-esteem and whatnot. So we think that sports obviously is one of the best way to do this. And then the third thing we hope is that at the end of the program, we hope mentees and mentors maybe feel that they have stronger mindsets or have the skills to support them beyond their current context. At the end of the day, in this mentoring program, our main target audience are the women in the 18 to 24 age group. They've been a student for pretty much their whole life since they were 2 or 3 years old until they've gotten into university. And although the transition from high school to university is pretty scary, the transition from being a student to being someone who's now an adult into the workplace is often scarier. And so we really hope by supporting mentees to develop the self-recognition, to build skills, strengthen mindset, it doesn't just support them for themselves as a student, but really they are long lasting as they use these skills for the rest of their lives, going into a professional context or even more personal development. And then, of course, we hope that mentors can share more of the personal context, more of the stories. They can share it with the mentees. And this is a space where we hope mentors and mentees can feel themselves, be themselves, and everyone can support each other. Next slide, thank you. And so we do believe in the power of mentoring, and there are 3 key reasons. The first reason in Hong Kong is often women and girls do participate in less physical activity than men and boys. And the research shows that more often than not, women and girls like having a supportive environment to engage in sport. Friendships, community tend to be more important to women and girls when they're engaging in physical activity. So we hope that the mentoring is one way to build that supportive network and also reduce some of the barriers that might include, I don't have a friend to join sports. And so then you can increase the participation in sports through that. And it's not just a mentor, you're actually in an environment where there'll be other mentees who might be facing similar, not all the same, similar barriers or challenges in accessing sport. And together we can, work towards even maybe addressing some of these barriers in the long term. The second thing is we talked about the leadership skills and transferable skills, but actually in the world of sport, there are fewer women and girls in many leadership positions, including in sport, I was going to say. And we really hope that by understanding the benefits of sports, knowing what are the skills, what are the mindsets that you can get from participating in sports, doesn't have to be elite, it's just a mere participation, that you can bring across some of these skills into the future, into your context, and really be able to apply them as leadership skills. The word leadership is very broad. It can mean very different things to a lot of people under the umbrella of what is leadership. We have leadership styles. We might think, what is important for you as a leader. But these are all the things that we hope to be able to do through the project. And that's why self-awareness and self-understanding is actually very important as part of what we do. And then the third thing is, because it is still in a context like Hong Kong, in many public domains, it is harder to see women and girls participating in sport. We really think that the mere participation into this project, we hope can showcase to demonstrate to more women and girls in Hong Kong that it is possible. And actually by doing so, mentors, your skills, your value, your contribution will be recognized, but also mentees, what you can contribute to your community. We hope to be able to share more of this too. So the next slide is why sports. This is the last slide I'm going to share, so I'll be very quick. If you know the UN SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals, they have the 17 goals. So at the root, sports will contribute to good health and well-being, gender equality, and reduced inequalities. There are a couple of other goals that sports participation can contribute to or address. But really, we think that sports can help us build skills. And I've listed 5, but in reality, there are many, many, many more. And the list would be too long for me to list. So I've just talked about confidence, time management is always a way for you to challenge yourself. But in a context where some of these skills are increasingly important, just this idea of what is resilience, overcoming challenges, overcoming COVID, for example, being able to adapt to change. These are really skills that I think physical activity can actually help us navigate through some of these challenging times as well. So with that, I'm going to pass over to Peony to share more.
Thank you so much, Alicia. So we'll be jumping into the timeline of the whole program, and I will be also talking about the curriculum. So the timeline here, it's pretty clear on screen. We will be starting the application tonight. At the very end of this presentation, you will see a QR code. So from tonight onwards, you are already welcome to apply for this program. And upcoming in August, we will be conducting interviews. It will be around 20 minutes interview online, both for mentors and mentees. After we have selected the mentors and mentees, we will be doing a matching in September, as well as an online orientation approaching the end of September. And then the program will begin in October, early October, and will finish in early December. So just a quick overview of how this whole curriculum, or should I say the program format, is that running through from October to December, there will be 6 in-person group sessions that will happen on Saturday mornings. And for each session, it will run for around 3 hours. And in between each group session, group workshops, mentor and mentees will have to organize a one-on-one meeting online or in person, and this will be conducted without WISE. So as I've just mentioned, it will be on a Saturday morning. Tentatively, these are the dates of the 6 sessions. And these are also the topics and sports activities. I won't go through it one by one because it will be too long and too boring. But basically, we will begin with ice breaking, getting to know each other on the 8th of October. And then we'll have 4 sessions that we will address topics such as career development, goal setting, mental resilience, and women's health. And then at the very end of the whole program, on the 6th session, on the 10th of December, there will be a graduation lunch, and there will be a final sharing between mentors and mentees as well. So if you have any questions about this curriculum, we will be happy to answer any more. If you want to know more details, we'll be happy to answer more approaching to the end of the Q&A. Since we've been talking about some hours and some dates, we'd like to be very clear about the time commitment of this program. The group sessions, the 3-hour group sessions on Saturday mornings are compulsory, as well as the self-organized meetup, one-on-one meetup between mentor and mentees. We recommend the meetup to be at least 1 hour long. We understand that some of us might not be able to meet face to face all the time due to academic commitments or professional commitments. But we do encourage everyone to meet up in person, given that the COVID situation has been relaxed now. So on the right-hand side, you have seen that between each session, there will be 2 weeks of gap in between, and this is when mentor and mentees can meet up. Of course, there are optional sessions where you can join. We will be doing some online connections between mentors and mentees in the middle of the program. So around the third and fourth session, we will be gathering all mentors and all mentees together separately, and we'll do some online activities where, just to give you a very quick example, where, for example, mentors might be facing some challenges in communication or in some of the life questions that she might have with the mentee. And this is the moment where the mentors can come together and talk about and share their experiences. Of course, since all of you will meet in person in the group sessions, you're always welcome to exchange your contacts and go offline and have a coffee in person. So this is basically what we expect time commitment wise. And then moving on, I'll pass the time to Angela. She'll talk a little bit more about who we target. And later on, she will be also talking about her experience.
Thank you, Peony, and thank you earlier, Alicia. So the target audience this year, let's go through one by one, and I'll interweave probably with some of the experiences of what happened, what took place or what we had last year as well, just as a comparison, just as examples. So for mentors, we're hoping to have mentors joining us with 2 years of full-time work experience behind them. The example from last year was we had anything from 2 years to 20 years. That adds to so it depends on each of your personal experience in terms of how interested you are in mentoring, or how much or not so much experience in sports, physical activities, but because of this program, you're interested to join. So this is quite a broad array of a list of mentors that we welcome. And in terms of your work experience and maybe in the past academic background as well, we welcome any industry and background. And in terms of your experience in physical activities, maybe some kind of involvement or interest would be the minimum. No hard and fast rule. We just want you to come ready and be active and join in. And also, of course, being under the umbrella, on this platform of WISE, Women in Sports Empowered. So we hope that you are already committed in supporting other women and to help promote gender empowerment. And in terms of your willingness, your participation once on the mentoring program, of course, we hope that you will be willing to share your experiences, whether it's work experience, growing up experience, physical activity experience, and how that relates to life in general of your own personal growth journey. So in terms of mentoring relationship, whether you have had experiences or not, is not compulsory, it's not mandatory. We could give guidance along the program if you don't have any experiences. We are here to support each other and everyone on the program. And therefore, hopefully you will be happy being part of the WISE community. In terms of language, last year we were kind of bilingual. Some spoke only English or their own mother tongue, but everyone was able to communicate in English smoothly. So once you're in your one-on-one pair, it's really up to you if you wish to switch to another language. So for example, my pair was a local Chinese student, so we switched to Cantonese. Other pairs, I think mostly it was English anyway. So in terms of the target audience of mentee, as Alicia has mentioned just now, we're aiming for female students in the tertiary education. So anything between 18 to 23, 24. depends on depends on the age they enter the education. We do not expect them to have had serious or substantial sport or physical activity experience, but of course, hopefully they are here to start or be involved in try out some of the activities that we will have on the program. And of course, it's not just the exercise or the mentoring itself, it's a broader subject of health and well-being. Hopefully they would want to learn from it, and maybe they could share with us as well how they hope it would benefit them throughout the program. And also being part of this WISE mentoring program and network, hopefully they will also help us spread the benefits or experiences on this program, and therefore also spreading the message that WISE is trying to promote as well. In terms of physical activities, again, yeah, as I mentioned, hopefully they'll be here to want to try out physical activities and to learn how they can, from what they've learned, how they can make an impact through life afterwards, through friends, through university community, or a broader society community. And similar with the mentor, hopefully English would be at least the main language ability, but we'll be flexible on that depending on all the applicants. So that's it for now. And the next, please. And so what to expect as a mentor? What would you gain out of the program? Of course, meeting like-minded women, and also to probably hone your leadership style further, because in the program you'll be working with to start with a stranger, but hopefully you would learn to get to know each other, work with each other, and maybe also explore your own leadership style a bit more in terms of working with a different spectrum of people that you're not used to seeing, because they all come from different background and industry. And also to hopefully support and uplift women to their best. And if it's something that you are doing for the first time, hopefully it will help you ease and step out of your comfort zone. As for mentee, what would a mentee expect out of this program? Of course, we've mentioned several times, developing a greater self-understanding, self-awareness, and discover yourself on a professional and personal level. Of course, it might not be too obvious on day one, but hopefully throughout the program, with the guidance of mentors and with the program curriculum that we have shared with you just now, the content, the experience, the interactions will help make that more obvious and will bring out the benefit of the program. And also for mentees, hopefully they will be able to build other new friendships throughout the groups of mentors and mentees, and hopefully be able to commit to the program throughout, because there'll be altogether 12 to 14 weeks of activities from start to the end. And in between, we need to be a bit more disciplined in showing up on time for events, for meetups, and making schedules for the one-on-one mentoring. So the commitment and discipline is very important for everyone, for both sides actually. And for the competencies and skills, we hope that throughout the program, it will become apparent in terms of what skills and knowledge from sports and activities we can gain that could be transferable to other things happening in our lives. I'll give you a bit more example later. And at the end of the program, each mentee will receive a certificate of completion. And maybe, hopefully, as we have other activities in WISE, some internship opportunity as well.
Thank you. And then we would love to hear your thoughts and experience, Angela, because Angela
sure.
was a mentor last year.
Yes, thank you. So as I mentioned before, I was one of the mentors, and there were 8 pairs of mentor-mentees last year. So this year we're hoping to have at least 12 pairs of mentor-mentees, so we're upsizing. And of course, for those who are at this info session, hopefully please help us spread the words and what WISE and mentoring program is about. Last year, what I learned a lot was, of course, through the experience of meeting people. I like meeting people. I like making new friends, and especially people from different background as well as different age, as well as the learning of different activities. Because throughout the program we had new types of sports / physical activities we were doing. I had not done proper weightlifting before, although, yeah, so it was fun seeing everyone starting things like weightlifting with a different mindset, with zero experience to some experience. So it's just the fun of trying something new is what I've always enjoyed. I did different ball sports when I was younger or much younger. And it was always not about being competitive, but about just participation, meeting new friends, also about working hard and playing hard. Working hard in school days, as well as working hard when it comes to our work career. And playing hard, people have different definition, whether it's playing sports or playing TV games, digital games, or going out at night, alcohol, whatever, or not. It's just the spectrum of work hard and play hard is so broad. And to be able to do it with a bunch of new friends is also the fun of it. And from sports, personally, what I've learned from it is that you learn about your own perseverance, not giving up. And you learn about social skills when you meet people for the first time and playing sports. It just breaks down that barrier much better. And so it's the most important thing is, of course, the enjoyment of doing so. So that was all in the program last year, and we are definitely sort of like hopefully bringing that to everyone this year as well.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jella.
Before we move on to this little video, we're so lucky to have Angela here tonight. One of our mentees also wants to share her thoughts from last year's program, but she's unfortunately she couldn't make it tonight. So we have a little video to play. It's only quick 1 minute. So here we go.
And I joined the S.H.E program in 2021. There are 3 main aspects to the program. One is a mentorship program. The second is guest speakers who come and give talks. And finally, a sports or active component. And all 3 of these were really well designed and thought out for the mentees' needs. And I was genuinely really impressed by the quality of each of these sessions. First of all, I really bonded well with my mentor, and I think that we'll have a lasting relationship. And I don't think this is something that's common for mentorship programs where you often lose touch after a few sessions. Secondly, the women that came to give talks were really knowledgeable and inspiring because of how they implemented sports into their work life, their family life, and into their careers. I got to learn about nutrition, mental awareness, and just how to be empowered. And finally, there was a sports component that really pushed me mentally, physically, and out of my comfort zone because there were a lot of things I had never tried before, such as lifting weights. It made me realize I'm a lot stronger than I think I am, and that I should really be taking these risks while I can. So overall, I think it's really worthwhile. I came into the program wanting to improve my relationship with sports and activity, and also meet people who have achieved that or are working towards that. And I came out of the program achieving what I expected to and much more. So I hope you can have a similar experience. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Jalak. Apparently, Jalak feels exactly the same how Angela felt. Both of them have never weighed a lift before, myself included, actually. I know that Alicia lift weights a lot. So I'm looking forward as well, since I'll be part of this program this year. So quickly moving on towards the hard facts about the application. So you can feel free to scan the QR code right now just to take a look how the sign up form looks like. But before we dive right into it, I just want to mention the application deadlines for both mentor and mentees are slightly different. So mentor, there will be only one deadline, which will be around 2 weeks, a little bit more than 2 weeks from now on a Friday. And same with mentee, it will be on the 29th of July on a Friday night. But because we considered the fact that some of the students are on their summer holiday and they might not be able to receive or checking their emails as frequent as they usually do, that's why we have created a second round of the application deadline, which will end in the mid-August. But some of you might wonder, will there be a difference between applying in the first round or second round? This is yes. We will prioritize those who are applying in the first round. But of course, we will judge equally, and we will look at the application equally for everyone, either it's in the first round or second round. And of course, this program is free of charge. Just to make everyone clear about this program is free of charge. So you can sign up anytime, just right before 29th of July. So without further ado, we will open the floor to questions. So meanwhile, if you are pondering on what type of questions to ask, we have listed 4 frequently asked questions. And so maybe Alicia can address maybe the first question. Is it okay if we request to match with a mentor in the same industry? For example, if I want to be a teacher, can I match with a current teacher?
Yeah. So we had that last year, a couple of requests that last year. And actually, the answer is we don't necessarily match you with someone in the same industry. So one of the benefits of this mentoring program is very often when you're in a workplace context, you'll immediately be matched with someone who's currently in your work environment or work industry. Or very often when you're in school, you'll be matched with a mentor who studied your subject as well, for example. So one of the reasons we actually try to do cross-industry matching sometimes is so that you can have exposure to different people outside of your current network. I see Gwen has a question actually. I don't know if you want to ask now or if you want to ask later, or if this is in relation to this question actually.
It is sort of in relation to this question. I had one related. I was just curious, how do you match? So for example, do you consider like proximity of where people would like to meet, or do you try to just put together really diverse types of people? How do you do the selection?
Yeah, so last year what we did is we actually had 3 interviewers and we matched together, and we tried to pair what the mentor, what the mentee is looking for with what the mentor is able to contribute. So last year it was a time-consuming process because of that. We actually really took the time to really think about how each pairing would work, and on the whole, it made sense. So this is actually really important to be able to have some sort of idea, whether you're a mentor or mentee, to know what you're looking for, what you want out of it, and what you want to contribute, for example, because that will help the matching. But at the end of the day, it's not so much the matching as what you also get from participating in this program. We actually do find that last year, because it was a lot of cross-industry, in a way, it really worked because you learned a lot of different things that you probably didn't really expect because it hadn't been in your context to think about. So it was quite interesting that way that last year. The workshops will, sorry, I'm going to jump into listing all of the questions already, or answering all the questions. The workshops will take place this year in Lai Chi Kok. So on the Kowloon side, we've already got preliminarily found a venue that we would like to use. Last year, we held them in Hong Kong Island side, but what we actually learned is that more of the mentees last year live on the Kowloon side. So being on Kowloon side is actually easier for them. We did say that we're hoping for a minimum of 12 pairs of mentor-mentees. It is a one-to-one match. 12 is a minimum, but we will probably accept up to a maximum of 15. And this, in a way, relates back to what Peony was sharing around the round 1, round 2. Because if we have more room to expand or extend the size of the mentor-mentee, then that will happen in round 2. But we'll take on as many pairs as possible in round 1, just so that we can actually start the matching process early, the interviews early, and we hope we can send you more information and details, whether you're a mentor or mentee earlier, so you have more information anyway on your hands before. Are there any commitments after the mentoring ends? We don't currently have things like pledges or commitments per se, but going back to this idea of why we have a mentoring program and what we're trying to do at WISE, at the end of the day, if mentors or mentees, and hopefully mentees especially, you have ideas for further projects that you want to do, we talked about kind of like how do you make an impact through physical activity? If you want to start a sports club or sports team, you want to bring sports sessions to your family, to your context, you want to make sports donations, sports product donations, whatever it is that you think you want to do because you've been inspired by this mentoring program, we are here to see how we can help facilitate that. We can't guarantee that we can actually help you, but at least we may have the knowledge or the resources, or we may have the network to help support you to do that. And that's why we kind of loosely keep the commitment a bit open-ended, because we don't want to be too prescriptive in what your commitment is. We hope that it comes from you, seeing what are the possibilities after joining this, and see where that takes you. So as an example also, you know, Angela has come back as an advisor, joined our board, but we've got a few other mentees who will be coming back as peer advisors. They will be part of the interview process. So some of you applicants will meet last year's mentees, and we really hope that this can be a knock-on effect. I've actually seen a couple of the mentees and I know what they've been up to. And they are getting their friends out left and right to join these activities that they didn't even do before. And I think sometimes you just need that nudge to help you. So if we can be that nudge, by all means, we're happy to do that. So I think with that, I'm finished sharing. And if anyone else wants to ask a question, feel free to. I think unless Peony or Angela wants to have something else to share.
I'd just like to say that any question is a good question, so please don't be shy. Yes.
I want to add on the point about matching, the mentor-mentee matching process. Writing on what Alicia said, last year, it was the matching was basically in-house. But this year, we are exploring the possibility to also give the chance for mentees to tell us their preference. So there might be an extra step for mentors after we have confirmed the mentor list. We will ask mentors to do an elevator pitch of themselves, and we'll be uploading that video onto a common platform which will be good for mentors as well, because you guys can look at each other and see each other's faces before you meet face to face. And with that platform, mentees will go on to the cloud to watch those videos, and then they will be able to tell us their preference. Obviously, the final decision will be ours, but we will be taking those preferences into the matching process. So we think this will be like a plus for this year.
Yeah, thanks, Fiona. I forgot to mention that. There's a lot more expectations on the mentors this year, but we're also providing more resources to mentors and mentees this year than we did last year.
Okay. I think Gwen has, have you got another question?
Yeah, I've got 2 quick questions, guys. About what time on Saturdays?
It will be in the morning. Ideally, it will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On the first session and the last session, we will be doing like a welcoming lunch and graduation lunch. So you will be, you are welcome to stay a little bit longer, where we will have some refreshments and chit chats. But you can like block out the morning time for the Saturdays. In fact, in the sign-up form itself, there will be a link to a poster where you will see the full curriculum that I've shown in the very beginning, in the middle of the presentation. So you can take a close look of the date. And we understood that some of us might have plans for travel. And just to be clear, that the workshops will conduct in Hong Kong, and the group sessions will unfortunately not able to conduct online. Yeah.
And where do you recruit the mentees from? Do
So
you liaise with local universities or word of mouth? Okay.
Yeah, so both. Last year, we mainly focused on recruiting university students. But this year, we want to cover the student network that are outside of bachelor students who are doing their bachelor degrees. We hope to also reach out to students who are in the process of getting into university. In Hong Kong, there are diplomas and associate degrees that will link the students from like the type of like college type of institute to university. And that's why we will be liaising with the student network within the institutes that are non-university at this point.
Yeah, we do. I mean, aside from Peony and myself and Angela, so last year when we first launched the program, we worked with the university student consulting group to help us do some designs and, basically make sure that what we had was okay for our target audience group. And this year, we've got 2 interns who, and one just recently finished her internship, who are all studying at various tertiary educations in Hong Kong. So actually through that, we've been compiling a list of whether it's groups, student groups, alumni, organizations to reach out to share our project this year. It is, because it is summer, it's always going to be a time when students are not necessarily thinking about these kind of programs. But it is what it is, because we want to start it in October to December. And if we don't do the recruitment now, it'll be too late for us, pretty much.
That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions? If not, we know that it's late, 8 to 9 p.m. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to email us, whether it's email or, I don't know, Instagram, LinkedIn, we are reachable, and we hope to be able to address your questions soon. Thank you.
Right. So I see that most of us applied or signed up for this session through a sign-up sheet, a sign-up form shared by WISE. So we already have your email. In case that you did not share your email with us previously, feel free to leave it in the chat. We will be sending an official email out to all of you who registered your interest about all the information that we shared tonight in a more condensed format. So you're always welcome to revisit the materials that the information that we've shared tonight in the materials.
All right. Thanks,
All
everyone.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing everyone in Rio. Thank
Yeah,
you.
me too.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good job.
Oh.